Right, here we go.
Recording, Chair.
Thank you. Item number 1 is public participation, of which there is none. Item number 2 is apologies for absence, which is extensive. Please, Town.
We have apologies from Councillor Woodgate, who is recently bereaved, and Councillor DeBell and Councillor Peacock for attending Mid Sussex District Council.
Thank you. Item number 3 is receive the minutes of the meeting held on the 6th of January. This is for accuracy. Can I propose them, please? A second?
I'll second that, Chair.
Thank you, Vice. Any questions about those? Okay, can I show of hands to adopt? Thank you. Obviously, for the recording, we will be going in to sign them at East Court once it is safe to do so. Item number 4 is to receive members' declarations of interest. Are there any? No?
No, not for me.
Item number 5 is Chairman's announcement. I would like to update the committee, all of you, that the Chair, myself and the Clerk met with Brookworth Homes as the land interest. This development is 33 units with mixed size, including 2 bedroom homes, which will be submitted in February, and the plans are expecting to come on the 8th of March to share with you, with all of the committee. It was a really interesting meeting with lots that we managed to bring up about making sure that if the site does go ahead, that the access into the hospital, how that's maintained, controlled, it isn't turned into extra parking for the hospital. But it was a good, positive meeting with lots of feedback, and they were very receptive to that feedback. In a similar area, it's sadly noted the Blackwell Farm application has been approved by Mid Sussex District Council. It was a 6-4 vote. And I'd like it noted that the East Grinstead councillors spoke and voted against it, whereas other councillors from the district passed it. So East Grinstead did the very best they could to fight it. So thank you, Burgess Hill. Thank you. I'd also like to mention that the clerk has had several calls about the site between KFC and Specsavers. The town council has no powers of compulsory purchase, and we cannot interfere with private land. There is an owner, and planning permission was granted last year. We have in the meantime asked Mid Sussex District Council to contact the owner about getting the work started, or at least improving the hoarding to secure the site. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen and we can move on to the main bit of the meeting. Hopefully you can see that now.
Yes.
Yep. Good, right. So item number 6 is licensing applications. We can take these on block unless anyone has got any specific comments that they wish to make to the licensing committee about that. Does anyone have any specific comments they would like to make on any of these?
No.
No? I'll show of hands to refer those to the licensing committee with no comment. Thank you. Item number 7 is protected tree application. There's only one, which is in town. We normally refer these to the tree officer with no comment, unless there are any specific comments. Does anyone have any comments to make at all? No. In that case, I'll show of hands to refer with no comment to the tree officer. Okay, so main part of the meeting, item 9. This is, the first one is DM 20 3553. This is 51B Railway Approach. And I've got the wrong bit of paperwork in front of me to read the descriptions. There we go. This is change of existing commercial office building 1A to live work 1 commercial office build 1A commercial building with changes to fenestration. I completely read that out in a jumbled way, but I'm sure it makes sense. So this is down Railway Approach at the back here next to 51 with the nice new roadway going in front of it. And this is the current building with an office and a bathroom. It is to convert it into an office, bedroom, bathroom, kitchen area. So this is town. So Councillor Scott, please.
Okay. Well, looking at this, it's just going to be converted. Well, it's just small works, isn't it, inside the building, really?
Yeah, there are 2 objections from Overton Court residents.
Are they really? Are they very strong objections? Just to me, this looks like it's internal works, and the shape of the building's there, nothing's been altered, and I can't see any reason why we shouldn't accept it.
That's fine. So do you propose that we accept it?
I do, yes.
Could I have a second to that, please?
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Waddle. Any further comments on that at all? Councillor Roddy.
Thanks, Chair. Yeah, there seems to be a material change here in terms of they're adding a bedroom to an office. Is that right?
And a kitchen.
And a kitchen.
Yeah.
So
they're changing it into a live workspace. So there's an office at the front with a bedroom and a kitchen.
Okay.
So rather than being purely commercial, it is turning it to live work commercial.
Nothing. Can I go back? Can you go back to the plan of the overhead so you can just see the location and things? Thanks. With that diagram, Chair, what are the door openings for? On there's
a fence. There's a fence.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Can I say one other thing, please, Chairman?
Please do.
What's to stop someone converting their office and that becomes a 1-bedroom flat?
Well, that's kind of what they're doing, but with an office built into it.
But so this, in a way, then, is not office in any shape or form. There's a good chance that this is living accommodation.
Well, there is. It's a living accommodation with.
No,
yeah, it's a live work.
Well, you could live in that even if you didn't work in it.
Yeah.
Well, the category of the commercial office building is live work A1, whereas at the moment it's commercial office building A1.
Yeah.
Sorry, Town Clerk, would you like to?
I was just going to say it might be helpful. As you know, there were 2 objections from nearby residents, number 4 and number 6, Overton Court Railway Approach. And one of them's given quite a long detail behind their reasoning for, and I think the way your conversation's going, this is probably quite relevant if you haven't read this. I'm writing to object to the proposal to change the use of 51, it's very small, excuse me, vanity to one side. Right, okay, lovely. I'm planning to object to the proposal to change the use of 51B Railway Approach from an office building to a live work office building. I'd like, they then say that the address of the property isn't quite correct, needs to be redone, but let's leave that to one side for the moment. In 2014, planning was refused for the previous double garage to be replaced with a studio flat for the following reason. The proposed studio flat, by virtue of its relationship to the existing first floor flat, would have a significant detrimental impact upon the neighbouring amenities in terms of overlooking and loss of privacy. As such, the proposal will be contrary to policy B3 and H3 of the Mid-Sussex Local Plan, and it's considered this harm would significantly and demonstrably outweigh any benefit the development of this site with a single new dwelling would bring. And on this basis, the application also fails to comply with paragraph 14 of the NPPF. The proposal does not adequately mitigate the potential impact on Ashdown Forest SPA. You can ignore that now because that's obviously something that's not been dealt with. The local planning authority is not satisfied that sufficient evidence has been put forward to demonstrate the sustainability of the development in terms of efficient use of energy, water and materials. The proposal is therefore contrary to policy B4 of the Mid-Sussex Local Plan. If you look at the previous block plans and the elevations from that planning application and the property that stands there now, you'll see that it is identical to the plans for the original studio flat, which was refused for the above reasons. The property has been empty since it was completed almost a year ago. No one comes in or goes out to use it as an office. A kitchen was already installed when the property was built, so the existing plans were submitted with this application are not accurate. When the office building was built, it was always intended to be rented out as a studio flat. I fail to see why a small office would require a shower and a full kitchen. My flat overlooks this studio flat. At no point since its completion has it been occupied as an office. On the 3rd of July 2020, I exchanged emails with Andrew Clark, Senior Planning Officer, as I was concerned then that it was going to be rented out as a dwelling. I'm opposed to this change for the following reasons. Any resident living in the studio flat would be overlooked by several other properties and therefore would have no privacy. I live at Overton Court, a 3-storey building directly next to this property from the front door of 51B Railway Approach. I believe it would be possible to look into my neighbour's bedroom, and it would definitely be possible to see them on their balcony. 51B Railway Approach is close to my ensuite bathroom window, which is often open. If the building was used as an office, any noise entering and exiting the building would be within office hours. If it's changed to a residential dwelling, there could be noise while the resident comes and goes at any time, possibly including car. While the sustainability of the development must have been deemed acceptable for the office permitted, is this still the case when the building will be in use 24/7? So that's the full objection that's been made by number 6, Overton Court. If that's helpful.
Very helpful. Thank
Can
you.
I come back, Mr. Chairman?
You can.
Yeah, this is the pub, isn't it? This is actually I used to own this shop. I think it's now a pub, isn't it?
No.
No.
Yeah. So I know this place quite well. In fact, the shop at the front and the back part of that building, before you come to the piece we're talking about, there is a flat there already. Well, there used to be when I owned it, because I had an employee living on that at the back of there. This new building at the back wasn't there when I was there, and that overlooks the Inner Relief Road. I really can't see, with a pub at the front and already accommodation at the back of it, a flat in it. Well, perhaps that's not there now. I can't really see this being a big issue, but sticking in a bedroom there, you know, it does seem to me to be a reasonable request. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there are conditions could be attached to it by the planning officer that that made it sort of acceptable to, you know, to neighbours with regards to overlooking and all that sort of thing. You know, that thing can be covered by conditions.
I'm minded to agree with you, Councillor Osborne, that actually there's no external changes. There might be some changes, people coming and going at different times, and it is going to be a small dwelling, but that will really be down to the affordability and the person that wants to actually occupy it. I can't see there's a huge change in that particular area of town. If they're going to be overlooked, not them doing the overlooking. So that's going to be down to if they convert that and no one wants to rent it out for those reasons, then that's their loss, in my opinion, not our decision.
No.
Councillor Reddy.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. No, I get that reasoning, okay, but I also do feel that the objection that was read out is extremely valid. And the other point I'd like to make out is that for me personally, this is just backdoor development. This is blatant. I'll build something and then I'm going to try and convert it, create more value for myself as the owner by putting it in as commercial. They'll then change it and add a bathroom in, keep it as an office, and then change it so we have a kitchen and a bedroom. I mean, it's blatant. I'm really set against it.
But if you look down Railway Approach, Tony will tell you this: all the shops down there, they've got accommodation at the back been built on. I mean, it's not uncommon in that particular area to have various sort of residential places at the backs of commercial premises. It's the norm in Railway Approach, I would have thought.
I totally understand that, absolutely, but they're all part of the buildings that were our shops. Yeah. This was an extra building that was built.
What I see very quickly on this is that it was once turned down as an idea to turn it into a studio flat. This is so near to a studio flat, it looks like they've done exactly the same thing.
It's a studio flat.
It is, isn't it? It was turned down once. What is the ruling on something being turned down once and then being allowed to come back on with a smaller identity for the same purpose? I don't know.
So
It's a
I
different
would.
application.
It is, and actually, I agree completely with everything that you're saying. I agree about the location of the road. I agree about Councillor Odie's comments. However, this is for a change of use. The application in front of us is not to change it into residential. The application in front of us is to change it into a live, work, A1 commercial. If it then came before us, so it could have to be rented out under very different conditions. It couldn't just be rented out as a normal residential property. So I think
You could
if it came before us,
condition, Chair.
yeah, put them.
You could you could ask for a condition to say that that this must be a live work hybrid, and that it must have a condition that it cannot be used as sole domestic. You could.
I was literally about to say that it can't be sold as, and if it came before us as sole residential, then we would probably look at it differently.
How can that be enforced?
Because of that classification, they can't take it to a normal renting procedures. Couldn't happen to it.
With COVID-19 at the moment, would not most flat premises be classed as a live work establishment because people are having to work from home? It's very difficult, isn't it?
It's a very good point. Look, I think we've discussed this quite a lot now. It obviously, we've got those comments there. Councillor Odie, would you be slightly appeased if we put that clause in?
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, can I have a show of hands in support of the application with that clause that it can't be, it's got to be as it is? Okay, thank you. Really good points in discussion there, committee, thank you. Okay, staying in town for DM20 4657. This is 6 King Street. This is change of use from a shop class E, Formula A1, to mixed use E, Formula A1 and A3, to sui generis drinking establishment to facilitate a barbershop and bar restaurant. So this is the site underneath the Travel Lodge next to Papa John's and the gym, to turn it into a very nice little render here showing the sort of restauranty bar with a bar at the back and the HG Gentleman's Barbers moving in to this back corner. This will show the potential new layout and shop frontage. So town. So
where is that on the street?
Sorry, hold on a second, Councillor.
Where is that on the?
Hold on a second, Councillor Osborne. The location very quickly for you, Councillor. So that's Pure Gym. Yeah, so this is Travel Lodge above.
Yep.
Pure Gym is going to be Papa John's, and then this in the corner. So town, this is you, Councillor Scott. There are 19 letters of support and 4 objections from people in King.
In my opinion, is that this is the last part to the jigsaw puzzle to complete this building. Rather than have that unit empty, we've got the Papa John's one side, the gym the other. I can't see any reason why we shouldn't put this forward. I mean, it now finishes the building complete. And you, me, and everybody else on the council do not like to see empty buildings there with nothing in them. So, no, I would support this.
Thank you. Could I have a second for that?
I think it's what
I'll second it.
I think it's what the town needs. You can get a meal and have a haircut at the same time. Sounds good to me.
And yeah, I mean, I think, you know, if you looked at the Facebook groups, people would complain and saying, "Oh, another restaurant and another barber's just what we need." But this is one barber's moving, not getting another barber's. So
if it's very cost effective to eat in there, you could say they get it at a snip of the price.
Oh, very good. So I do think it's a brave concept to do the two together. I think it looks pretty cool. It's not for us to decide the commercial viability, but I think to go in there, I see no problem with it at all.
I don't.
So can I have a show of hands in support, please? Thank you. Okay, so we're going to go to Imberhorn for DM20 4691. This is 9 Campbell Crescent. This is proposed garage conversion and single-storey front extension. So here is in Campbell Crescent. This is where the front extension is. Bring it back a little bit. You can see how there's the garage at the front, little porch. We're converting it and just bringing the front out a little bit there to make a little porch lobby area. Councillor Osborne, would you like to start us off on this?
Yeah. Well, there was a time if anybody built in front of the building line, then it would be thrown out automatically. And if you look at that plan you showed originally, this one really does stick out compared with the other properties along there. I don't know. I don't know that it's something we should worry about. I mean, it looks quite a good. It looks quite a good development to me, looking at the later plans you showed. And there is a little one, actually, isn't there? There is a little one, a smaller one, a little bit further.
There is, yeah.
Yeah, there we are. Look. Yeah. I
13.
don't think it's going to cause any single. It's a single story, and it looks pretty tidy to me. So I think I would support that.
Yeah, I would second that.
Yeah.
Any other comments on that one at all?
No, I think it was good.
Show of hands in support of that one. Okay. Back to town. You've got a busy night tonight, Councillor. This is DM20 4713. This is East Grinstead House. This is replacement of existing windows. This is the East Grinstead House site, and this is the pictures aren't going to be fantastic. If I'm honest with you, this is the existing windows, and this is the new windows. There is a little legend which I will bring up bigger for you. The basis of this is with the proposed change of use of the building from commercial to residential. These are opening windows and more designed for residential use than office use for the flats. So this is Town Ward. So Councillor Scott, please.
The opening windows, you can't walk through them. There's no Juliet balconies, is there?
No, it's just the windows.
Just the windows. Well, I can't see anything against this. I wouldn't know where to start. I mean, they're just changing the window design. There's still going to be the same amount of windows. They're not big, are they?
No, there's no additional windows. They are literally just uprating the windows.
Yeah. No, I'd support this.
Can I have a second for that, please?
Yeah.
Town Clerk, you want to say something?
I was just going to say, just to bear in mind, in case you're thinking, well, why has this come through? This property went through, if I'm correct, as a permitted development, and that's how it into from offices into flats. They can't change the windows when they do something under permitted development. So they did that. They changed the context of the building first, the use of the building. Now they're coming along and doing those external changes, and that's why it's going through. Because clearly a lot of the office buildings, the windows really are not appropriate for domestic at all. And
no,
so
they're not.
That happens next. So that's all it is. So that probably just helps with the thought process, if you like.
No, I'd support this.
I agree. The windows are being changed from aluminium, in a lot of cases, single glaze to double glaze, make it more efficient.
I don't know if it's this particular building, but if you recall, this is where we've lost a hell of a lot of office space here. And Mid Sussex at one time actually prioritised a part of this building, part of this site, that needed to be retained for local offices. Presumably, that's not this particular one. It's the one that's still to come before planning, or the remaining.
It's not Woodhouse, not that one. House, it's not that one.
Okay, no, I'll go along with it.
Can I have a show of hands in support of changing the windows then? Always one of your favourites, isn't it, Councillor Osborne, when we get a change of windows? It's one of the ones that you really, really love that.
Well, I think people should just do it and not tell anyone.
Okay, so we're going to go. I'd like a little drum roll, actually, I think, for DM 21 0015. This is the first one we've had through with the DM 21 tag. This is Woodlands, Bursfield Road. This is variation of condition 2 relating to planning application DM20-2280 to revise the drawings for the adjusting the plots to suit the CCTV survey of the sewer. So we've actually sat on these properties before. They're the back of two existing properties that were built. These are two houses that can be knocked down and rebuilt. And we had no objections last time, and they are literally rejigging this slightly because of where the sewer runs. They've had to slightly adjust the angle of the houses. This is Baldwin, so I'll take this. There really isn't an issue with this at all. This is it doesn't affect anything or anybody. It's just a small shift, but they've had to reapply. So I would propose that we accept this. Have a second for that, Councillor Odey? Any comments at all?
No, not.
Can I show of hands in support? Thank you. Okay. We're going to go to DM21 0029. This is 12 Harwood's Close. This is raise existing ridge and convert roof space with new rear-facing dormer window. So this is on Herentide. This is the property here. There's some properties behind. This is the existing rear of the property. And this is the proposed new rear of the property and dormer, and it making the ridge higher there. There are several objections to this, some of them quite strong. But Councillor Odey, would you like to start us off with this one, please?
Thanks, Chair. Yeah, I've done a recce on this one. And I have to say, I appreciate why they're doing it completely. But I have to say that I don't like the fact that they're raising the height of the house. And I don't really, I have to say that I do agree with the objections as well. I think it's pretty unneighbourly. I think it will be it will add a dominating feature in the area. And I think that, you know, those material considerations need to be taken into account with the proposal. I will propose that we refuse this application based on EG3 and DP26, with those material considerations being taken into account.
Thank you. Can I have a second for that, please? I'll second that. Councillor Scott, you wanted to come in and say something?
Yeah, very quickly. I think one, it's very unsightly indeed. And two, it's going to be out of keeping with any other house down there. Surely there's no other house that's going to look like that. It's just going to stand out. And if there are plenty of objections, I can understand them. I certainly I wouldn't support this.
Okay, thank you. I also think it's worth mentioning that this house is in a slightly elevated position to its rear neighbours. So it's looking down upon them already. They can see the house roof. I think making the house higher and putting windows into that will overlook them even further. So I do sympathise with what they're trying to achieve, as Kat already said, trying to fit more space, and they've got the roof space is too shallow to build in as it is. Yeah, I think there are too many windows in that roof at the back, and that dormer is too big. I think it's just too much. So I would support that. Any other comments at all? No, in that case, I have a show of hands. Do you recommend refusal on the grounds that Kat already made? Thank you. Okay, so this is DM20 3394. This is Furcroft, Yew Lane. This is demolish existing dwelling, garage and outbuildings to construct a new dwelling. This is to include a tree report submitted on the 28th of October and revised elevations received on the 17th of December and site plan received on the 7th of January, and octorial report received on the 11th of January. Revised description agreed on the 13th of January. So there are many different shifts on this, but we have seen it before. And I believe we actually approved it last time. So this is the change of the little bungalow to the new modern dwelling.
Yeah.
Here. It's Imberhorn. Councillor Osborne, would you like to start with this one, or would you rather me start this one, as it's quite close to you geographically?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, all I would say is that it's a road of mixed houses and bungalows, and by and large, the fact it's turning a bungalow into a house is no big deal. It's a case of I didn't see the last. I don't think I was at the last planning committee, was I, when it came up before? Anyway, I think it's just a case of design and how it fits on the site, you know. So I don't see any problems at all with this, really. It seems fine to me. Have there been any objections?
Well, obviously, with that particular area of the world, yes, there are. There is one. But that not necessarily to be unexpected with a change of this type. I don't think personally that these small changes vary it enough to change our view from the last time we saw this, where we did approve it.
I agree.
So, Councillor Osborne, would you like to make a recommendation?
Well, yeah, I'd recommend approval. I don't see any problem with that. As I say, there's minor changes from last time, from what you tell me, so it looks quite acceptable to me.
Second.
I'll second that. Any other comments on this?
No, I agree with what was said.
Thank you. And can I show of hands in support? Thank you. I think it's going to look like a stunning house on a really lovely road. So
I think it is a beautiful looking building. I think it's a lovely house. Absolutely gorgeous.
Okay. We're back to an old favourite here. This is DM20 4231 28 Copse Close. This is, how many times have we seen this now, Town Clerk, in the last?
I think I'm going to make socks off to count this one.
Well, I'm not going to read the description to you. I think you all know it because it's lengthy. This is, for those who remember, the one with the slightly interesting roof line. We have refused it the first time. We approved it the second time. I'm not quite sure the direction we should take this in. So I'm actually going to, if you would like, Councillor Odey, would you like to do this on behalf of your Ash Blacks colleagues? Or would you?
I wouldn't, Chair. I'm really sorry. I refused it last time.
That's fine. Town Clerk, it's the point of, there's only a very small change from our last time.
It's amended plans. So what you could say is that you feel there is very small change from when you last considered it on the 6th of January, and therefore you're not minded to alter anything further. You can say that.
Yeah.
Can we? Okay. I think we should, because there's just not enough. Although I think lots of people would like to see this not done. It did get voted approved last time, and I do think that we probably need to, for consistency, hold our calls on that, because it hasn't drastically changed. Would you agree, Councillor Odey? I know it hasn't drastically changed.
No, I agree. If they're reducing the extension, the rear extension from the depth from 4 meters to 2.5, the footprint's less, but yeah. So if they're extending it from 4 to 6, then that would be a different matter to me.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Are we happy to put that comment forward as the Town Clerk suggested?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Show of hands. And can we please say, can they stop sending me applications?
You don't want to see it again.
Get on with it. Okay. This is DM20 4668, Church of Scientology, St Hill Manor. This is installation and use of porter cabin, used as a welcome suite for guests arriving at the site. So this is within the car parking. I've never been to the site, so I don't know, but the car parking at the top of the site here. And this is the style of porter cabin that they wish to do. This is Terentine, so Councillor Odey.
Thanks, Chair. It's well out of the way, pretty much hidden from the road. I haven't got a problem with this. I would recommend approval.
Okay.
Yeah, it helps a little bit with context. At the moment, what they have there is a gazebo, and any visitors up to the manor house or to the church have got to go through a test and trace, a COVID screening process. So at the moment, they're sat out there in a marquee, and you can imagine they've been jolly cold. So I suspect that's probably what's driven this. But I can't be for sure, but it's in exactly the same space. So that would be my guess.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would support it. In fact, the picture actually doesn't really give you a good impression of where it's going to be sited, because it is on the car park with all trees behind it. And I agree with what the clerk said. I went up there to a demonstration on their cleaning, and I was stuck out there freezing cold while they were mucking about with masks and God knows what and testing me. So if that had been inside a place like that, it would have been an improvement. So I'm fine with this.
Yeah, I agree.
Have a show of hands in support then, committee. Thank you. Okay, so this is DM 210050. This is 25 Overton Shore. This is a single-storey side extension with link into existing garage. This is the property here. This is the rear of the property down Overton Shore. And this shows the new rear, I think we've got some nice little 3D renders up here that I can zoom in on for you. Existing side and front views and the proposed side and front views. This is Baldwin's. I'll lead on this. Personally, I think the way it's tucked around behind the garages there, it looks like a very nice style. It's not really overlooking anyone because everything's in the roof. I've absolutely no problem with it at all. I would recommend approval. Have a second for that, please?
Yeah.
Second, Chair.
Any other comments on that at all? Can I have a show of hands in support? Thank you. And lastly, this is DM 210079. This is 31 Gardenwood Road. This proposed single-storey rear and part side extension. So this is existing front inclination here. This is the proposed rear. There's a little lantern on the top there. This is the property here opposite the entrance to Fairlawn Drive. Councillor Osborne, would you like to?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get my head around this one. There's a great long wall there. That bottom of the picture you're showing.
Yes.
Is that I'm a bit colourblind. Is that green or is that orange? The colour of that wall.
The wall is orange.
Yeah.
It's not a particularly accurate colour representation, as the windows are in turquoise, which they're not going to be.
No, I just asked that question because I wonder if that colour is used to denote the extension as opposed to.
They've kind of done the whole house in it. In this picture here, in the pink, it shows the extension.
Yeah.
It's enormous, isn't it?
It is, but it's sitting over the existing garage and conservatory, which is coming down.
I'd like to hear your views on it, actually.
Okay, honestly, the way it's tucked around with the garage that's coming down, it's behind to the back, not taking the existing conservatory out, going out into the garden. I don't actually have a massive issue with this because there is already buildings there. It's single story.
So it's the same.
So very similar.
Yeah,
very similar. The main difference is it's linking in between the two, where they were separate dwellings. You couldn't walk down beside it, but it's linking the two. There is actually a conservatory at the back here, which is coming down. So it's just bringing everything together.
Yeah.
I would propose that we accept it.
Yeah, I'd second that, Chair.
Any further comments, Councillor Oswald?
No, not really. It just I just wondered how far back it went and how it affects anybody else. Is there any objections to it?
No, no objections.
Okay. All right, I'll go with it.
Okay. A show of hands in support, please. Thank you. Well done, committee. Even starting a little bit later because of technical glitches, we managed to complete that very efficiently. Well done. I'd like to take the opportunity to remind you that our next meeting is on Monday, the 15th of February. Don't forget to get your Valentine's Day gifts the day before. And thank you very much. I will stop sharing my screen so the clock can stop recording. And thank you very much.